see, BRICS country is now a major force. It's going to play a major role in the international arena, where we will see people of the South are going to hear their voices. So India is one of the leading force in the BRICS country, and they can play a major role in implementing what is and addressing all the issues of the South cooperation. And I think there is a huge talk of de-dollarization. There is a huge talk of a barter trade between the countries, and there is also talk of stopping the wars, whether it is in Russia, Ukraine, or whether it is in West Asia. I think this is a very important summit, and India will be a key players if the other party listen to India's voice. The two, I remember when we traveled with the Prime Minister, late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, we went to China with him. And we were there in China. And he said it, even Mr. Manmohan Singh said it, that the world is enough for India and China to live together. There is already a talk between India and China for years on the patrolling, on the arms, on disarmament, disengagement. It has been on and on. It's only the recent development have taken place after 2019. So the vested interest nation would like to see India and China fight. And I think the wisdom prevail in this part of the world between the two giants of Asia, that they are able to sit down across the table and solve their problem. And that is the most important part, and that is the strong message that India and China can give to the rest of the world. And you cannot, as India says, you cannot choose your neighbor. You have to live with your neighbor. And you have to find a compromise where both the neighbors can find without losing any or compromising anything on your own national interest. And I think both the leaders understood the importance at this juncture to have a peaceful solution and come back to the table and renegotiate and settle as you have been for years. So there is nothing should be changed on the border, and status quo should remain as it was. You see, I always advocate that India is a natural extension of West Asia. Before the partition, before Pakistan came to existence, India and Iran had a border between them. So it was a natural. India has to have access to the CIS country. India has to have, prosper. And India is having a surplus and searching for new markets. And Iran play a major role in the north-south corridors. And they have already started from Russia, Iran, and India. And now you are talking of a BRICS also. And you're talking of an entry into the CIS country where India is doing the Chabahar port. I think Indian national interest lies as a priority for any Indian government officials who is sitting in the office. So I think the Prime Minister understood the strategic importance of a good relation with Iran. So therefore, any war break in this region, India will be suffering number one, because you are having more than 8 million Indian in the region, where you have more than 14 million Indian annually visiting the region. So all this having a great impact on India, beside the food security and the oil security. So India will be suffering number one on any kind of a conflict. So India can advocate for a peace solution to the crisis and not let it be expand. And I think India have a good relation with all the stakeholders, and they can approach and they can reach to sort of an agreement if the other party is interested not to expand the war.